What's going on, guys? It's PokePond back with another video for you. We got so much to talk about today. Today we're doing a deep dive on Scarlet and Violet. With the market as hot as things are, we've really got to break down what's going on. There's a lot of risky plays in the market that I want to warn you guys about, but there's also a lot of opportunity. There's always opportunity. Make sure you subscribe down below to never miss one. Let's get into it. Stock levels are some of the craziest things I've ever seen. This is Pokemon Center US. Everything sold out. And I'm not just talking about like a few products. Every single product is sold out, including all the binders, literally anything with a booster pack that you can get your hands on. This is the booster pack section, even all the niche, weird, overpriced products. Even this binder collection, this mini portfolio that comes with a booster pack, sold out. You can get nothing from source right now, and what that means is a lot of these secondary market retailers and LCSs are having to put up their prices because they're struggling to get product. They're having to pay more for product. Even if they bought it for less and they bought in for distro price way below retail, why would they sell it to you for less when they can sell it for more? They're not in business to help you out. They're in business to make money, and there's nothing wrong with them doing that. That's what their business is. They provide a service that gets us Pokemon cards, and in this kind of a market, if they want to charge more, they can. There's nothing we can do about it. It's just how it is. You have two choices. You either buy from them and you're happy about it, or you don't. You know, there's no point moaning about it. This is just the state of the market at the moment. We're in a massive boom cycle of Pokemon. I don't think it's going to slow down for at least another 6 to 10 months at least. It could go on much longer. I'm just judging that on previously what I've observed in the market. We've been doing this a very long time now. We're getting close to... Let's see, when did Evolutions come out? That must be getting up to nearly 10 years ago? 10 years next year, maybe? Yeah, because Evolutions was, what, 20th year anniversary? And we're about to hit 30-year anniversary. Time has gone by so quick. I'm amazed by it. But in this crazy market, there's a lot of risky plays. I'm not going to say they're bad plays, but there's a lot of higher risk plays and there's a lot of safer plays, and this is what this channel is all about. I'm going to point these out to you, and we're going to start off by doing a focus on ultra modern. I'm going to run through the packs and the prices of Scarlet and Violet and just point out to you guys what I think is really risky and what I think is a better play at the moment. Pokemon Center US, like I said, the booster box section completely sold out. This is the Elite Trainer box section, also sold out. No product from source. The UK, slightly different. We've got Paradox Rift and Temporal Forces. If you're new to the channel, I am UK based, but I compare all of US and UK markets. In fact, I keep an eye on everything worldwide. I have a look at Japanese too, because a lot of the time we can draw trends from each other's markets. Don't take my word for it. Check my credentials. Go back, look at some previous videos. There's lots of content there. Go back in time, have a look at what my predictions were then, and a lot of them have come true. The interesting thing is no one knows what's going to happen, so don't take my word for it. All we're doing is using the information to make a best guess about what's going to happen in the market. And I tell you what, some people are going to get caught holding the bag, and what I mean by that is at the moment the demand is way above supply. Okay, now it takes time for Pokemon Company to increase their supply. That's going to take a while, 6 months, 8 months. By the time they do that, if they don't get that right and they overprint and the market's dropped by then, we've got a situation where we've got Shining Fates again. We've got, you know, lockdown periods where 2019 time where we had the massive hype bubble and then they printed Shining Fates into the ground and then just overprinted it and the demand went down. So, you know, this could happen, and this is why it's so risky paying way over retail for ultra modern. Now, we're going to have a little look at prices at the moment, so we've got to start off with the big ultra modern set that everyone's going crazy for. It's Prismatic Evolutions. You can see that it had a dip in price around about February time. and it's just climbing and climbing and climbing again, and it's getting closer to its all-time high. It hit an all-time high peak here of around about $151. Let's have a look at last sales. 138, 140. So we're $10 off from the all-time high. It is incredibly risky to buy this as a sealed product to hold for the long term. If you hold it for 2, 3, 4 years, I think fine, you'll be okay. Or if you're buying it to open, again, fine if you're happy to pay those prices. But it will get reprinted. Will that affect the price? Yes, it will most likely affect the price. Obviously, it depends how much they reprint, but I can't see it regularly going for more than $150 once it gets reprinted. It may drop. I mean, it may stay over $100. I could see it staying over $100, but we are going to get a drop in price. It's going to come at some point. And those scalpers and those people that are just looking for the quick turnaround, quick flip, they're going to get caught holding the bag on one of these sets. And it might be Prismatic Evolutions that gets heavily printed. It might be Journey Together. I could see Journey Together actually catching a lot of people out because it's a decent set. But to pay nearly double over retail before it's even out on pre-orders on eBay is kind of crazy and kind of risky because you have no idea how much they're going to print of that over the next 2 years. It's kind of risky, especially with the new Team Rocket set coming out afterwards, Destined Rivals. I think that a lot of people are just going to put their attention away from Journey Together and pile into Team Rocket, and at that point you're going to see Journey Together drop down in price. And if that happens at the same time that Pokemon Center gets those printers, you know, fired up and pumps out a load of Journey Together, we could see another sub-retail set. It's possible. Something crazy that I wanted to show you. Right, okay, so $125 for a Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer box on eBay at the moment. $125. Look at this, Crown Zenith, $120. So Prismatic Evolutions is now more expensive on the Elite Trainer box than an out-of-print Crown Zenith. It just doesn't make sense. It's just supply and demand metrics, and they're not going to stay the same. Eventually, demand will drop and supply will increase because it's so early into its print window. It will be a cash cow for them. They will just continue to print Prismatic Evolutions for the next 2 years. I'm almost certain. I don't think you're ever going to see it again for retail. I'll give you that. Unless you're lucky and you catch it out in the wild. But on the secondary market, I think that, you know, $100 quite possibly will be the basement price. $90 maybe. It just depends how much they print of it, but it will drop down. If you're paying this now $130 plus maybe some postage, $140, something like that, it's just incredibly risky, guys. Especially, look, Crown Zenith, out of print, one of the best sets there ever was, going for $120. And it's out of print. It's over 2 years old. So just be cautious. Sometimes you need to just take a step back and just look at what's going on in the wider market. And by looking at some of these older products, it can help us shape our opinion. Is that opinion going to be right? Not necessarily. Okay, they might not reprint a lot of the Elite Trainer boxes for Prismatic, and it might carry on going to the moon. It could happen. It has happened in the past with other sets. However, let's just make our best guess. And I'm just doing this because I don't want people to get hurt, and I've got a strong feeling like some of these ultra modern sets are going to dip down in value soon. Cheapest you can get Prismatic Evolutions ETB in the UK right now is £89 for last sale. Again, quite high. I think retail was like 50, so that's what, like 80% over retail, something like that, 75% over retail. Kind of crazy. The Prismatic Evolutions booster bundles came out not long ago as well. Cheapest you can buy them on eBay right now is last sale $68. Kind of crazy. A little bit of international arbitrage coming from the UK here, selling on US eBay for $60. Another one for $70 here. 70 is crazy, yo. That's a crazy price for 6 booster packs of a brand new set. I get it, it's hyped, but they're just going to print it into the ground, especially booster bundles. Booster bundles are so easy for them to reprint because there's no extras, there's no dice, there's no sleeves, there's no nothing. It's literally just booster packs and a tiny piece of cardboard, and they're so small as well. They can like, you've got to think about the size of the product as well and how easy it is for them to churn it out if they wanted to. Like, how many booster bundles do you think you could fit on a pallet? Like, let's scale that up. And then you think about, like, a Pokemon printers, how many pallets can the factory crank out in a week? That is so much product. Like, yes, it takes them time to arrange that and put that all together. It might take 6 months, it might take a year. But Prismatic Evolutions is brand new. And it's probably going to have a 2-year print window. So they've got time. They really do have time to absolutely print this set into the ground. I'm not saying they will, but it's a massive risk. Cheapest you can buy the booster bundle here in the UK, a little bit more reasonable, £42 with some postage. This is 45 all in, 48. Here's one for 50. Now this is crazy. So these were all this morning, and we're only at midday today. These are all, yeah, look, that's an older one. Yeah, look, 42, 50, 50. All sales from this morning. Look, more sales from this morning, 50. I don't know why eBay does this. Randomly it puts in like older dates, even though I'm sorted by time. 46. I looked literally 2 days ago and you could get these for 40. Now they're 50 2 days later. That's a massive jump up in price. Just be cautious, okay? Talking about being cautious, Surging Sparks. I think people are really going to get caught holding the bag with Surging Sparks. I think this is probably one of the riskiest things you can buy right now if you're looking at it for an investment point of view. Surging Sparks, last sale, $257. One of the most recent modern sets to come out. Almost certainly going to get some fat waves of reprints come in. It's $250. I don't see any world where it's not going to drop down in price. The only way it's not going to get dropped down in price is if they barely reprint it, and I just don't see them doing it. I see them printing many, many more waves of Surging Sparks over the next 2 years. Cheapest you can get a booster box right now is $250. Last sale in the US. In the UK, $175 plus postage, $180. Here's another one going for nearly $200 all in. 175, 200 all in. It's crazy, guys. That's 30% over retail for a set that's just come out. It's really not been out that long. So let's start talking about some of the safer plays. Paldea Evolved. This is what I'm buying at the moment. I'm buying heavy into Paldea Evolved. Look at the chart, okay? 51% increase in price over the last 3 months. It has been confirmed that it's going to get a reprint in the upcoming wave of reprints. I don't think it's going to be that significant because look at this nice healthy growth. There's no massive ramp up in price that, you know, makes it unstable, really volatile in the market, might crash. It's just slowly and steadily gained up in price over the last 3 months as it's approaching going out of reprint window. I am almost certain this is going to be the last reprint of Paldea Evolved that's coming over the next couple of weeks. Even if it's not the last, it's going to be like the second to last. There's really not going to be much more Paldea Evolved hitting the market. And once it's done, it's done. And like, you better get it now before it's gone, because it's slowly gaining up in price as the smart money's starting to move into it. We're all starting to realise there's not going to be much more Paldea Evolved around, and it's looking cheap right now. Last sales, $225, $224, $225, $225, and the sales volume is picking up on it as well. It's really starting to pick up. Paldea Evolved, nearly out of print, nearly 2 years old. I know it sounds crazy to say. It seems like only yesterday it came out. It's nearly done, and that's what happens. This market moves quick. Let's have a look at last sale then. $224 in the US. I know it's getting a reprint, but I really don't think it's going to drop the price that much. At most, I think it might drop it by $20. It might go back down to $200. But then if you're buying this to hold for a couple of years, does it matter if it's dropped $20? I'd buy into it now before it gets any higher, personally. As long as you're willing to sit on it for a little while, I don't think you can lose. Like I said, even if it drops $30, £30, £40, it's still a good buy. Like, it's not that much over retail. What's this? 224 retail was what, like 165 ish? So we're like, what, 50, $60 over retail now, so it might drop to $40 over retail. I really don't think it's going to be that much of a significant the reprint. I think it's smart money. It's about to go out of reprint. I think that very quickly we'll see in the next few months, I could see Paldea Evolve getting right up there. You know, it's going to jump to $250, then it's going to be $280 before you know it, and then it'll be knocking on the door to $300. I think it's going to struggle once it gets that $280, $290 to break that $300. I think it will then take another 3-4 months for it to climb up and sort of hover around the $300 mark. It depends what happens in the market. I think that 300 is going to be a big price barrier that it's going to struggle to break through. But once it does, and it will, I think, the sky's the limit. So it just depends when in the year it hits that 300 mark. If it hits that 300 mark by like summer, I think that by Christmas, you could see crazy prices, 350, 360. I think that more likely though, it's going to be hovering at around about that 300 mark, November, October, September, and then December, when we get the increase with Christmas buying, that kind of thing, that's when it's going to really push through and start gaining some momentum. I'm buying into it now to be ready. I think that Paldea Evolved is so much of a safer bet than buying into Prismatic Evolutions or Surging Sparks or stuff like that. Obviously, if you see it in the wild for retail, it's an instant cop. But paying way over retail for a set like that that's still well in print, I don't think so. Not a good idea. Super risky. Paldea Evolved though, at that 2-year mark, nearly out of print, much safer buy in my opinion. Twilight Masquerade, getting older as well, getting older, and look, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for sets that have been out for a little while and they're just seeing strong, consistent growth. You know, they're not spiking. They've not been out for 2 months, 3 months, and then a big spike, and then they might drop off again. It's just consistent growth going up. That's what we want to see. It's healthy for it. It shows it's a strong set. It shows the community likes it. It's got strong cards, and it means it's got good potential going forward to carry on doing these price rises. 40% price rise over the last 3 months. Do I think it's going to get a big reprint? Probably, because it's been announced in the reprint window. It's a little bit more modern than Paldea Evolved. I do think that it's maybe going to see 2, maybe 3 more waves of reprints, but the fact that it's had this growth, yeah, the reprints might make it drop a little bit. It may drop it to around these levels, around the 200 mark again, but to me, that's chill. I'm just going to keep buying into it. Okay, so do I think it's going to get reprinted more? Yes. Do I think it's going to drop down in price? Yeah, it's probably going to drop down 10% or something like that. But I think that it's still a strong buy. It's not a million miles away from being out of print window. I think that it's going to be a pretty decent pickup. Last sales, $185 in the US. I actually didn't look at UK right there. But UK is basically for retail. So it's going for like 150, 140, around that range. Really good buy in my opinion. Temporal Forces, again, pretty safe buy. Pretty modern, will likely get a lot more reprints, but look, it's seen strong growth over the last 3 months, and it's just cheap, guys. It's really cheap. Look, 180, 179, 170. Retail on this is 165. So we're like a couple of percent over retail. And it's sold out now on Pokemon Center. Will it get reprints? Yeah. Will it dip below retail again? Maybe, but not by much. Because people are going to see it for retail. And also while there's no other products as well. And be like, oh, that's a cop. I can just get that for retail. That's a really good deal. I think Temporal Forces is going to do really well over the next year as well. Cheapest you can buy on eBay US right now. Last sold 184, 185. In the UK, look at this, sub retail, £135. That's less than retail for a nice minty one. Instant cop for me, good investment for the long haul. What's a reprint going to do to this when it's already below retail price? Look, 133. I don't think you can lose. Right, we need to talk about 151 as well. I'm going on a bit of an ultra modern rant right now, but 151 going to the moon. It's just going up and up and up. I'm not even convinced they're going to reprint it again now. We're at all-time highs on 151 Elite Trainer Box, and it doesn't look like it's slowing down. 60% price rise over the last 3 months. Prices are just insane. Look at this. Last sold 214, 208, 209, 210. It's just going up and up and up. Every time I check, there's a higher price. Really going to the moon. $179 last sold. Here's one for 200. I've never even seen one go for 200. Here's two that have sold yesterday for 200 in the US. Booster bundles as well. Exact same thing. Just going crazy. Look, nearly $100 for this one. This one's like nearly 90 all in. But yeah, nearly $100 for the booster bundle for 6 packs. 6 packs, $100. 151's going to the moon. I'm not saying it's a great investment. It is risky, but I'm always going to point out plays to you. It's going up on the charts, so we're going to talk about it. If you want to move into it, if you like 151 and believe in it, go for it. It's not my recommendation personally. I'd rather put it into safer stuff and wait a little bit longer, like Paldea Evolved, Twilight Masquerade, that kind of thing. But 151, it is a play, and I'm always going to point out plays to you. That's why you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. If I see a play, I'm going to call it out. Last sold in the UK, £70. Kind of crazy considering these retailed for 25. I've got 2 of them in my collection that I bought for £25 each, and now they're 70. I might sell them, to be honest. Look at this one, nearly 80. If these hit £100, I'm just going to sell them. Because that's, you know, that's 4x on my money. Like, yes, I like 151, but 4x on my money, I'll just take profit at that point. I was planning on holding it for years and years and years, but to be honest, if I can 4x on that and almost, like if these go to 100 and then I can almost buy a booster box of something ultra modern like Temporal Forces for an extra like £20, it's a no-brainer to me. I'd rather have like 4 Temporal Forces booster boxes than have like 5 or 6 151 booster bundles. Do you see what I mean? That's just how my brain works. Maybe yours works differently, I don't know. Right. Because we've talked a lot about Ultra Modern and that was the focus of this video, I just want to quickly, as we always do on this channel, talk about Sword and Shield and just quickly give you a rundown of what's going on in prices. I'm not going to do a massive analysis on that because we've spent a lot of time talking about Ultra Modern and Scarlet and Violet. That was the focus, but we're just going to quickly zip through. Okay, now you look at this chart on Evolving Skies and you're just like, oh, it's flat, it's not moving in price. That's healthy, guys. That's what you want. That means everyone has accepted that that is the new basement price. That is the cheapest you will buy it for. And there's only really one direction it's going to go up in because they're not making any more of it. Evolving Skies is one of the best sets of all time, and people are always going to remember it. It's very iconic, so I don't see it going anywhere but up in price as more and more of them get taken off the market every single day. Rip and ship people, rip open Evolving Skies, the supply goes down. They're never going to make it again. It's only going to go up in price in my opinion. Last sold 1307, don't know about these 1700 ones, I wouldn't believe that. 1300, 1340, and like, yeah, you see this dip down in price, right? But if we're selling at 1340 now, the all-time high here is 1382. Yeah, 1382 all-time average high. So, I mean, we're really not that far off. We're, what, from 1340 to 1382, 42 bucks? 42 bucks away from the all-time high. But not only that, it's steady. It's not dropping in price. It's just sat steady in price. It's regularly selling for that price. That's really good sign. Look, here's one that sold yesterday. US eBay 1300. Here's another one, 1350. Healthy, guys. We're not that far away from that all-time high. Market's just cooling off a little bit, but it's not dropping in price. It's just stable. UK right here, almost back up to 1100. We're at 1077. Not bad. Not bad. I can see it having a really good year. It's one of the best sets of all time, as I said. Got a lot of faith in it. Crown Zenith, just continuing to pump up in price. We've been talking about Crown Zenith a lot over the last few weeks. I think it's an excellent buy, especially the fact that it's cheaper than a Prismatic Evolutions ETB right now. That's madness to me. Again, Crown Zenith, one of the best sets of all time. I think it will get really appreciated in time, and I think it's going to have a really good year. Last sold 116, 128, 128. Okay. Last sold on eBay US 130. That's the highest I've seen it go, actually, 130. I remember people talking just a few weeks ago, maybe like 5-6 weeks ago, some Pokemon YouTubers saying that they refused to pay over $100 for Crown Zenith. Well, that's fine, but that mindset means that you're going to miss out on all of this growth. Crown Zenith is just getting started. It's already up to 131. You can pick one up here for 120, 120. I think 120 is quite a fair price for it right now. Yeah, a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, it was $100. But the times have changed. You need to move with the market. And the people that get stuck with these previous opinions on what the price should be and aren't always constantly correcting and readjusting get stuck. You can't have your mind in the past. You need to look at what the market's doing now. The market now is 120. 120, and it's Crown Zenith. It's super popular. I don't know anyone who doesn't like Crown Zenith, and they're not printing any more of it. It's done. Especially the Elite Trainer box. Done. No more of it hitting the market. It's getting opened up every day. There's so many good chase cards in it as well. Goodbye, if you ask me. Cheapest you can buy it in the UK right now, 126. I bought those ones behind me a few weeks ago for 115. Like I said, market's moved. And you might think, oh, okay, £11. It hasn't moved that much. Yeah, but that's in a couple of weeks. I've had those boxes, what, like a month? Something like that. And they've gone up 10%. Pretty good buy if you ask me. And what's the chart doing? It's going in one direction. Look, last 3 months, 70% increase in price. Week on week gains. And it's just going to keep compounding. It's going to have a really good year, Crown Zenith, I think. Fusion Strike had a little bit of a dip down in price, as most of the market did around about this time. Around about the January sort of time. Still really strong though. And what I wanted to show you quickly with Fusion Strike, is that the charts can sometimes be be a bit deceptive, is what I'm trying to say. So look, all-time high average price 490. Okay, what's last sold? 460. There's one that sold for 510. Okay, so 510, that sale is an all-time high. But on the chart, it looks like it's not doing so well. It's interesting. You need to break things down and look at the data. Because look at this. eBay, US, last sold, 510. That's an all-time high, guys. I've not seen it sell for over $500 before. And it comes with an acrylic case. Super nice. Not a bad deal, if you ask me. UK just looks so cheap in comparison. Look at this. £333 for Fusion Strike. Nuts. Especially when the US one is just pumping and it's like 510. And to show you this as well, look. Last sale, like domestic, so US to US postage, 510. If we scroll down, look at this. Where is it? Here. 386, import from the UK. 387, import from the UK. 400, import from the UK. I've touched on this a little bit in previous videos, okay? eBay is going more and more international every single month, okay? What eBay looks like now to what eBay's going to look like in 5 years' time, maybe it won't even be eBay, maybe it'll be another platform that we're all using, but it's going to open up internationally. At the moment, you've got two main Pokemon markets, well, 3, if you include Japan. But I'm talking about English Pokemon markets. You've got the EU markets and you've got the US markets. And you're starting to see more and more UK sell onto US eBay. And the reason why is because our product is cheaper. We can sell it on your eBay, pay fees, do the hassle of shipping it internationally, and still make money. Still sell it for $100 cheaper than what you're selling it for. So it makes more sense. And with eBay, they're making it easier and easier for sellers to ship internationally, because what you can do now is you can just ship it to eBay and then eBay handles the international part. So you don't even have to you know, sort out international postage anymore. It's getting easier and easier. And I used to work for a transport company in logistics, and we used to ship containers all around the world. So I've got a little bit of an insight into this. And what happens is when companies start shipping more and more internationally, the more they ship, the cheaper it becomes to them, because they can just bundle it together in containers. Let me give you a really quick example, okay? These are just hypothetical numbers. If you've got a 40-foot container and you put 2,000 parcels in it, okay? If you put 2,000 parcels in a 40-foot container and it costs you 10 grand to send it to the other side of the world, okay? How much does that cost each customer? $5. If we're selling booster boxes for $120 less than what your market price is, we're quite happy to pay a $5 fee. We're happy to pay a $10 fee. We're happy to pay a $50 fee, and we still get money. And more this is going to happen. It's going to get easier and easier for sellers to sell internationally. And what we're going to see in the future, I'm calling it now, I'm predicting it, we're going to see a merging of the eBays. We're going to get an international eBay. I'm calling it now. We're going to see it. The two Pokemon markets, EU and US, are going to merge over the next 5 years. I reckon it will. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but I could see it happening. Anyway, enough about that. Let's quickly go through the rest of the sets. Lost Origin, all-time high. Let's have a look. Last sold, 392, 398. I told you the other week, knocking on the door of 400, we were pretty much there. Last all-time high, average, 388. We're there. We're there at the all-time high, 392, 398. $10 over the old all-time high, and going to keep moving. There's no way that if Fusion Strike is $500, Lost Origin should be less than 400. That's nuts. Good time to buy it. Look, last sold on eBay US, $374. How cheap does that look when you compare it to a Fusion Strike at 500? It just looks like that's wrong. It just looks like it's a crazy deal. And this is what it's all about. Something is worth what someone is willing to pay for it. What we perceive the value of is what it is. Okay? So if this looks cheap, it's probably going to go up in value. Look at this in the UK. £330. £330 looks mad cheap to me. There's no way that Lost Origin should be sub 400, in my opinion. Let's have a look at Astral Radiance then. Just continuing to pump. I've always said Astral Radiance is undervalued. We're at all-time highs on Astral Radiance as well. 274. I don't see it going in any other direction. Look, all the sets are doing it apart from Chilling Reign. Chilling Reign's close though. Chilling Reign's had a little bit of an increase in price. And look at this. It looks really bad on the charts, right? It looks like it's having a really terrible time. But it's really not. Look, last sale, 330. What's the all-time high? 342. Last sale is $12 away from the all-time high. That's why you can't always trust these average charts. Brilliant Stars. Again, nice and flat, nice and stable for the last sort of 2 months. We've accepted that this is a basement price for it. And this is what I talked about as well with potential for Paldea Evolved in the future. It's at that very psychological $300 price point. It's very difficult for products to break through that $300 price point. Once it does though, it's to the moon. Look at this. Last sales, 300, 300, 285, 300. Brilliant Stars is right on that 300. And what happens in a lot of markets, if any of you know the stock market as well, what you have is price consolidation. So you have like volatility where it's up and down and up and down. And then right before an upwards movement, everything just gets really tight. The buying price and the selling price gets really, really tight and almost equal, and that's it. That is Brilliant Stars. That is 300 dead on. And they're not making any more Brilliant Stars. The supply's only going to go down, and then I just see it ramping up over the next couple of years. It might not go super fast, but it's just going to be steady, consistent growth, and that's what we like. Silver Tempest, exactly the same. Getting so close to that 300 point. 260, 258. It's at an all-time high though. Look at this. Last all-time high around the January time, 245. So it's already smashed its previous high. It's already, what, $15 over its previous all-time high. Again, Silver Tempest, Brilliant Stars. I think they're just going to continue to climb. One of my favourite buys right now is Crown Zenith, but me personally, I'm just sinking loads of money into Paldea Evolved, Twilight Masquerade. If the prices dip down even more with the reprints over the next couple of weeks as well, I'm just going to continue, buy more, stack them up. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down below what you think, what you're buying into at the moment. I love hearing what you guys are putting your money into because it helps shape my opinion as well. It's great to see the discussion of what other people think and what other people are buying in the market. Like I said, subscribe down below. Never miss an opportunity. Hope you guys have a wonderful day and peace.